Yeah, hi, good morning. It's absolutely a privilege to part of this eminent forum. It's a great forum wherein we can see that the government dignitaries, government officers, intellect from the private sectors, education, deliberating on this topic. So today, I'll be covering the cyber resiliency piece of a private cloud. What are the three key cornerstones which we believe are very, very important for to set up a cloud operations at your data centers? Hi, I'm Mohit Makol. I lead the solution engineering for VMware by Broadcom for government and the corporate vertical. So before I just take into my topic of a resiliency, cyber resiliency in the private cloud, I just wanted to take up a moment to set up a what private cloud in the government space. As we have learned from our eminent speakers in the first session itself, the demand of a digital services from the government is increasing day by day. Citizens want services to be all-time connected. Citizens want services to be available on demand. So that is where the VMware flagship cloud foundation product, which you can see in the circle, comes into the picture. We are providing many government services in India as well as abroad basis this platform. This platform is the one which provides a common cloud infrastructure wherein the silos which is created by the different government bodies can be bridged. It provides a common operation control for the consistent operation. It also helps all-time availability app to be accessed by the citizens. So essentially in this platform, so what we do, if you look into this chart, whether your services are hosted right at the edge or at big data centers, or you want to consume the services from any MITI-enabled cloud service provider, many of them are using this platform to deliver the services, or you want to extend your data center services or let's say disaster recovery to the hyperscalers and still have the consistent platform. That is what the VMware Cloud Foundation delivers. And if you look into it, what we deliver is starting from the basic IaaS services, whether VM or a container as services, to complex PaaS services, whether firewall or load balancer as a services, or a managed services, which could be the backup or a disaster recovery as a service, to deliver multiple end goals, such as AI, ML as a service, IoT as a service, eventually consumed by the citizen through citizen portal to your vendors ecosystem or the government-owned portals. So now that I have a quick 2-minute context on the private cloud, I really want to go a little deep into what we believe are the key cornerstones in the cyber resiliency in the private cloud. So if we look into it, I'll start with the very common and known framework in the cybersecurity space is NIST. So if you look into the NIST, it's a very commonly adopted framework which helps you to manage and prioritize the security. It has the 5 pillars as it's shown: identity, protect, detect, respond, and recover. So if you look into what NIST suggests, a good cybersecurity framework is the one which has both preventive as well as the remediation or responsive technologies. While the preventive technologies are mostly owned by the security team to stop the threats at the first end, but it is also seen that the remediation and the responsive technology act as a last line of a defense. So it is very critical we look into these two aspects. And if you map VMware Cloud building resiliency in this, so we cover this in 3 aspects which I will touch upon today: the infrastructure hardening in the preventive piece, as well as the lateral movement protection in the preventive phase, and from the cyber recovery in the remediation piece. So I'll start up with the infrastructure hardening. So infrastructure hardening, what is it and why it is required? So if you, as the name suggests, so we want to build a very robust cloud platform, a platform which is built into all the necessary credentials to host a critical data of a citizen, government, and provide you a sovereignty access control. So if you look into it, one of the very common fundamental is the CIA triad, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This is the fundamental known for the years in the cybersecurity space. Obviously, we look first for the confidentiality that, okay, the right data goes to the right authorities or with the right access. Integrity means that our data is not corrupt, it is not disturbed by the unauthorized access, and availability is the data is available on demand. So if you look into the platform credential of a VMware Cloud Foundation is built on the same approach. So we have a secure platform which is easy to use. and provide the consistent availability. How? With lot of gamut of the features which you can map into these three pillars itself. So to understand this little more, I'll go with a little layered approach to explain this. So if you look into it, a cloud platform, what it is in the government space or any regulatory space or any service provider space, we have a hardware, we have a hypervisor layer, then we actually have a management layers, we have a storage, we have a network, and then we eventually deliver. Now, if you look into essentially very quickly, I won't be able to go into the entire aspect, but let's look into, say, hypervisor. So the second attribute, which is very, very critical in terms of your preventive measures, is the lateral security. Lateral security is exactly what the name suggests. So what we see in a recent survey done with many of the cloud providers with a third party, so we have seen that 75% of the SOC analysts see more than 100 daily alerts, and 25 of them actually see far more. So what exactly is and where the lateral movement and how it helps qualify and reduce the number of alerts to the cybersecurity SOC team. So if you look into it right now, the posture of a data centers or a many private cloud, the perimeter hardware is a constant and common factor for many, many years now. But if I just give an analogy of a GEMS or M&M, so how do we control? And today's applications are the one wherein the multiple data sources speak to each other. One application